Rather striking entertainment law news involving a topic that I think is becoming just a weekly occurrence here on this program, AI. So a few days ago, a federal judge, Elisa, held that a fully AI generated piece of visual art was not eligible for copyright protection. So on August 18th, DC federal judge Beryl A. Howell, there's a name we don't make anymore. Where are barrels? Stand up. Beryl. Beryl A. Howell held that a piece of visual art, you know who says it's for you when the phone rings? People named Beryl. Yeah. Beryl A. Howell held that a piece of visual art created completely by an AI system developed by technologist Stephen Thaler could not receive copyright protection. So first off, I think it'd be interesting for the viewers and listeners to see the work in question. Like, what did the AI make? Lauren, do you have a picture of this, the AI generated work in question? There you go. That's a cool little painting. That's certainly something I couldn't paint. What do you think, art critic Elisa Rockdock?
It's not for me.
Really?
It's not my particular sensibility, but art is subjective. It's I guess an attempt at a sort of pseudo impressionist style, I guess. I don't know. It's weird because I wonder if I would have reacted at all any differently if I didn't know that it was AI generated. I do admit that I do hold a little bit of bias, but also it's not saying anything to me.
I mean, it's kind of the kind of art you might see above a queen size bed at a moderately priced hotel.
Yeah, there we go. It would fit great there, actually. The tones are nice. The tones and the hues. Now,
with the right kind of like purple and green bedspread for sure.
To clarify, when we talk about sort of like the kind of like authorship and like full generation of this stuff, are we talking things where it's like type in a prompt and then hands off whatever the computer generates and then submitting that for copyright without any other human intervention?
Well, ultimately, that's what this case came down to, which, you are right on track with this. So in this particular case, basically this was, and even to the copyright registrant, the human that tried to make this registration happen, even they admitted, I had nothing to do with this work. This was all the AI. He even tried to list the AI system as the author of the copyright.
That's interesting.
Yeah, like he was like full on, this was the machine. I am but a humble servant. And the federal judge wasn't going for it. So if you have the quote there, Lauren, in the ruling, Judge Howell said, quote, human creativity is the sine qua non at the core of copyrightability. God, I love sine qua non in any piece of legal writing. Like, I mean, honestly, in any final exam I ever took in law school, Elisa, if I didn't have at least one Latin phrase in there, I would go back and fix it. I'd be like, assuming for the sake of argument, cross out, assuming arguendo.
Oh,
yeah, no, yeah, that's that easily gets you from a B+ to an A-. And yeah, sine qua non might be one of my favorites. So yeah, human creativity is the sine qua non at the core of copyrightability, even as that human creativity is channeled through new tools or new media. So what the judge basically was saying and is that technology plays a role in most works that are created, right? If you are taking a picture with a camera, a piece of technology is doing a lot of the work there. If you're recording an album on Pro Tools or Logic, there's a lot of tech involved. But if there is not a significant element of human creativity, the work cannot be copyrighted. So in this particular case where Stephen Thaler readily admitted, I had nothing to do with this, that piece of hotel art was all the AI. That's not going to cut the mustard in terms of getting copyrightability. So the ruling goes on to further say, quote, human involvement in and ultimate creative control over the work at issue was key to the conclusion that the new type of work fell within the bounds of copyright. Copyright has never stretched so far as to protect works generated by new forms of technology absent any guiding human hand. Human authorship is a bedrock requirement of copyright. You might almost call it the sine qua non, if you will.
Hey.
But what I thought was interesting about this case, Elisa, is that the judge, Beryl, was quick to admit in this case, look, y'all, and she even kind of warns us, look, this was easy mode. Okay, This was an easy case. Like, this was not a toughie for Judge Howell, but we need to get ready. Like, we all need to prepare ourselves, the legal community, the artistic community, and everybody else, because this is going to get real weird real fast. So there's another quote here that I think really just kind of hammers this point home. Quote, undoubtedly, we are approaching new frontiers in copyright as artists put AI in their toolbox to be used in the generation of new visual and other artistic works. The increased attenuation of human creativity from the actual generation of the final work will prompt challenging questions regarding how much human input is necessary to qualify the user of an AI system as an author of a generated work, the scope of protection obtained over the image, how to assess the originality of AI-generated works where the systems may have been trained on pre-existing works.
Wow, that part.
Yeah, right. How copyright might best be used to incentivize creative works involving AI and more. So yeah, this is going to get really scary for lawyers and artists really fast. This was an easy case, right? If AI did 100% of the work, no copyright. But most works where AI is involved, there's going to be at least some guiding human hand. We do the stupid AI overlord tip of the week every week. And a lot of times there's a lot of humanity involved in that. I often have to write very long prompts to ChatGPT to get the result that we want. Sometimes it's an iterative back and forth process. I tell ChatGPT to do something, it poops the bed. I have to say, no, that wasn't good. Try it, do it this way, change this around, maybe make this longer, make this shorter. And through a little back and forth, we get the end result that we want. Or I might tell ChatGPT to do something. It ain't great. I got to do a little bit of fine tuning and editing on the back end, and we get something ready for broadcast. Are any of those copyrightable? And I've only been practicing copyright law for my entire effing professional life, and I am scared about what these legal questions are. Because we know intuitively, right? It's not just the fact that technology is involved, because almost all creative product today, technology is involved.
Yeah, I remember an article citing like comparisons to a guitar player using an effects pedal to sort of affect a sound, but it's not necessarily the pedal's fault. It's not the pedal that authored that sound necessarily. And but
yeah. Guitarists use pedals, photographers use Photoshop, musicians using Pro Tools, and increasingly a lot of creators using AI. A lot of artists make, even in significant heavy human involvement situations, a lot of creators are using AI maybe to give them ideas. Maybe the AI starts things off and gets the ball rolling, and then the artist takes it the rest of the way. We're going to need to figure out what to do in those situations. And some of the other things that the judge brought up that I think is equally scary, right, is what about when AI, which is often the case with AI, is creating work based on works that came before it? What do we do there?
Because the dam has already burst there.
Yeah. Like this AI stuff isn't coming out of nowhere, right? It's not making up this stuff out of whole cloth. Much how humans create new works based on the things that came before them, AI is doing the same thing. They just have the entire compendium of artistic knowledge at its disposal and can bring it forth at any given time and amalgamate it together in ways we can't even possibly fathom. And so it's wild. And it makes me understand why like AI and the use of AI is a major sticking point in the SAG-AFTRA and the WGA strikes, because they're seeing this legal stuff happening too, and they're scared. And I would say within the next 12 to 24 months, we're going to get the harder federal case, right? This was the easy one. In fact, I'm guessing if we were to ask this guy, Stephen Thaler, you were doing a thing here, right? Like you wanted to, you thought it would be cute and you wanted to see what happened. You made the easiest possible case you could for this judge because it would be hilarious and you wanted to see what was going to happen. But they're not all going to be this easy. In fact, it's never going to be this easy again.
No, and I'm interested in works of this type where people are going to start to see maybe their own works that had trained the AI in someone else's copyrighted material, and kind of getting that sort of fight started the minute that all of those start popping up, and then all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, that like third of the shot, I recognize that from something I submitted to DeviantArt like 10 years ago. What?
And that's already starting to happen. We've seen a few of those and people get understandably upset. Yeah, it's going to be a real briar patch. Creative professionals, brace yourselves, and lawyers, brace ourselves. It's going to be I mean, there's at least a paper or two in this for me if I wasn't too busy playing outdated telephone games with my 1-year-old.